All right, the Nigeria Police Force is known to be the principal law enforcement and the lead security agency in Nigeria. But the issue of inadequate welfare, lack of adequate equipment, amongst others, has been a major concern. But that may be changing as President Tinubu has reaffirmed his commitment to engender a police force that is well-trained, well-motivated, and well-equipped with modern tools and technology to effectively combat crime in Nigeria. While celebrating these personnel, he also outlined decisive measures his administration is currently putting in place to immediately provide adequate accommodation, accessible health care, and quality education for families of police personnel. But joining us for this conversation is a political analyst and convener, Campaign for Dignity in Governance, Rasaq Olokoba. Good morning. It's good to have you join us. Well, let's talk about the welfare of the police. This is a matter that's been on since the 1970s, when some persons will tell you, oh, in fact, at that time, before that time, in 1960, where we saw how, well-equipped our police were because of the British. And then in 1970, there was a decline when we started, handling things. And the matters of their welfare actually began from that time. And over the years, it seems like it's been a struggle for us to address this matter head on. But with this administration coming now to say, well, you know what, we're going to look at this holistically, including their families. What do you make of it, and how would you want the president to address this?
Well, if you have staffs and the welfare is a challenge, the pursuit of your goal in that organization will be a challenge, may not be achieved. And security is even more sensitive, even than ordinary organizational goal. Security is about everything in the country. It's only when you have security that you can be talking about a good healthcare system, run your education very well, economy is flourishing. But when you have a challenge with your security, the nation is in a big trouble. So it's a good thing that the president is looking in that direction. What we need to do is also guide the president in the welfare issue. And we are to quickly look back at where the decline started from. Military took a very huge role in that. If you look at incessant coup d'etat in Nigeria, there was a time that the police almost foiled a particular coup in Nigeria. And since that time, military consciously decimated the police. And the political class in Nigeria inherited it. So it was a template laid by the army not to be an equal with them anytime they want to carry out their activities. So, and you see, when you don't curb small crimes, it becomes bigger crimes. It's because you don't curb pickpockets, they gather and become armed robbers and kidnappers. And that is why to say that now is the time to pay that attention to them and their family is a step in the right direction. And it's to proceed further that we must not mismanage them. Because when you see police officer image today, it is not because of what they are pursuing. It's because of the people who were sent to guide. The role they asked them to play are part of the things their images have been changed. So as you are looking at the police, you must also look at state actors, particularly the governors of all the states. If you look at Fubara, if Fubara is not secured or have access to the police, he won't demolish the parliament the way he did. And there are also hotspots like that in Nigeria where governors are also mismanaging our national asset. So in looking at their welfare, you must also look at Nigerians' approach to them. At the moment in Kwara now, there's a crisis also between the governor of the state and the parliament, and the senior and the junior. There's this mentality with the governors that parliament, state and national are the appendage of the executive, which is not correct. All the good things that are coming from the nation in terms of intervention, the government is preventing senators from distributing them, using the state, using the police to do that. So the president is doing a good thing, but it's a balance. There must be that balance, because if you train your police, give them the required thing to do, and as a people, we deploy them to go and carry out activities that is inimical to what the police is put on for. And I think it's also time for the parliament to insert it in the constitution. The Navy, the Army, all security agents to disobey orders that is not in the interest of the country.
That will be interesting.
Yes, it's in the rest of the world. You hear our army saying that obey the last order. It's only in Nigeria that you obey the last order. If you obey an order that when you are employed at training school or being trained at training school, outside what you are asked to do, if you go and do it, you are going to answer for it. And that's why it's difficult to prosecute as Sergeant Rogers. You say there's a theory, political science, which is called balance of force. It's used consistently by the rest of the world. That's what America claims to be using in Palestine. That's what Europe is claiming to be using in support of Ukraine against Russia, and that a country must not. In countries too, state nations too also use it. State execution that is going to become inimical to the progress of the country, and they do whatever they want to do with it. And that's what Sergeant Rogers claimed, that I'm just obeying instruction on the death of on the state assassination that So that thing is important for the police now, so that we put them in between. You say don't do certain things, but the affront on them, and that was why people took part in NSAS protest to court. If you take police to court for killing people, we also take people who kill police to court too. We are in court with them right now. That they are our institution.
That's right. That's right.
And that institution, we have to build, just anomaly, we have to build a barricade around them to protect them, so that we will not mismanage it. So these are advice that the president must follow. And beyond that, there's a capacity to which the Nigerian police can perform. Look at the numbers of all the agencies that we have in the country that has to do with security. The Navy, the Army, the Air Force, the Civil Defense, the DSS, police, all of them are not up to 1 million. Look at it. It's grossly insufficient. But that does not mean that we should be employing needlessly. We need to complement. We had our conference last week where we told the president that now is the time to complement the word of the federal police. What do I mean by that? You must allow a component part of the country to also have their own police, which is state, local, which case, whatever we wish to call it, is important. Because what the federal police can do in Nigeria is what they are doing at the moment. To say that they should do beyond this is
overstretching them.
Overstretching them. So we need to complement. There are peculiarity to security. That peculiarity, the federal police don't have the capacity to understand this. For instance, in Lagos, there are things in Lagos that someone who is not from Lagos can never understand. You won't know the interpretation of what you are saying.
So in effect, sorry to get in your line of thoughts, in effect you are also advocating for the state policing, because others are saying, I think Ekiti, for instance, is in his support. All states got their recommendations and submitted. We do not have the details of these recommendations. But are you in effect saying that we must establish the state policing, even though some might use it to their own advantage?
Well, as part of your welfare, as a human resource management, is to also determine the capacity of your worker. That's part of the welfare. The welfare, in the case that the minimum time someone should be able to work and will be effective is between 8, 9, 10 hours. If you are going beyond 12 hours, you are not going to get the good
best out
of the personnel. The same thing with our security agents, so that the responsibility on them is too much. You see husband and wife fighting, you go and call federal police. It's not their business. Under the bridge in Ikeja, you see them passing vehicles. That's not their duty. They are local police. And that's why we have to keep looking at what Lagos is doing that makes it work. 25 million people in a small parcel of land. That model, all that states should come and look at it. You obey. That's why there are so many laws in Lagos and it's working. That's why we are not bumping into each other. There's LASMA, there's neighborhood, there's all sorts of agencies that put us in check. So for Mr. President, who is also the architect of 90% of what we are seeing in Lagos is the architect, because the blueprint is made there, nobody is working on it. Successive governors keep coming and going, they didn't look at it. So he dusted it and did something about it and it's working now. So that model is also, it should superimpose it on what he's trying to do in Nigeria. So as part of his welfare package, you must also understand that no matter what you do, we are not saying the absence of guns is the reason why our federal police are not performing. We are saying that the task you put to them to perform is enormous.
It's just too much.
How any federal police can perform like that. IG should be in Kwara, up to date. IG should be in Enugu to up to date. So it's enormous. So the welfare for them, how state actors handle them, then how Nigerians also handle them. We must start an orientation about who our police are.
Right.
Talking about the orientation, I can understand how the police will go through that orientation, but other actors, like you have pointed out, will they imbibe it? That's number one question. Number two question, yes, we have deficiency of police in Nigeria. We've said it about 3-4 days ago that the ratio in Nigeria is like one policeman to like 20,000-30,000 people, which is grossly inadequate. And yet, the technological support that the police in Nigeria has access to is very limited. Let us look at that area where they can use technology to bridge the gap of low personnel.
I think that's what the president is trying to address now.
Yeah.
And if you look at India, India is not rushing technology and all the things they do. They are not quick at saying we want to embrace technology and all we do. They have the population already. Technology can do the job of about 20-30 people. So it's in line. But we have to also be careful because we have numerous challenges in Nigeria. There's literacy, there's power issue. So if you want to rely on camera 24/7 to curb crimes all over Nigeria, there may be a challenge. And you are going to be missing a lot of things. So let's understand that one, that we will use personnel to complement where there are no cameras. Let's prepare our mind towards that, so that the race towards technology, we may not end up shooting ourselves in the leg if we don't admit who we are, the challenge we have is as a people. So in India, you can see crane, but you say if you do use crane, nobody will work today here, so put crane aside. So 30 people go and carry that load. I think we should employ.
Yeah, I understand that, but I was thinking more of technology for investigation, forensic. Nigeria, I hear, has only one forensic lab in Abuja.
Completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Completely agree with you. But what I'm saying is that, particularly for the younger generation, you got what you are saying correctly, which is correct. What you are saying is very, very correct. But in doing that, I have to quickly exercise the caution that we can't get there immediately. It is when you don't prepare the mind of Nigerians that there's a trouble. When the Tinubu was coming on board, I said, it's not going to be one year I'm going to be seeing the dividends. So people were fighting me. I said, it's not because it's someone I know. It's the reality. There's a gestation period. In fact, the entire 4 years may be a gestation period for him before you begin to see a glimpse of what he's trying to do, the dividends of what he's doing because of the lot. To put police in line, and state police in line, there will be crisis of jurisdiction between the federal and the state police. There will be that crisis. It's there all over the world. Before we sort out jurisdiction crisis, people say, hey, you see, maybe you told them about state police, there will be problem. So let's prepare their mind already that it's not going to be automatic thing. We are going to face a lot of issues when it started. The question of banditry, who has jurisdiction over it, pickpocket, who has jurisdiction over it. So it appears that you are taking away the job of the federal police until you have to define it very well. It's there. Someone committed a crime, it's a federal police. Trying to escape, he broke some law. Those laws were still. So you arrest them. Who takes him to court first? So we have to prepare. So in technology too, forensic lab, fingerprint, how to determine. There are crimes that if you commit now, your body odor is enough for them to be able to know who entered this place.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
So they have gotten to that point. But you need electricity and power to do that too.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean we shouldn't make an effort.
No, what I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that
let's understand our peculiarities. Why we are trying to adopt. Interesting. Because of our time, so we can make judicious use of it because there are several areas to look at. There was something you mentioned earlier, and it's about the deliberateness that was involved in not equipping our police force because of what the military did. They are coming in, and then you talked about it. And I'm wondering, if successive governments had known about this, why then don't we be deliberate as well at equipping these people to be able to address our peculiarities? Because when you look at the whole country, there are so many security issues that has to be addressed. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, you're talking about state policing. We saw what happened in Edo State. We saw that some states have adopted their own security network, and there are those who are saying, with what happened, they're trying to stem the activities of certain persons they felt, were causing mayhem in the state, or could cause problems in their state. They decided to go the way of jungle justice. How do we address these various layers of policing, or trying to ensure that our security network is safe while we are still looking at the matter of adopting state police? Yes, state governors have agreed to it, but again, the structure to ensure that both layers, we see in advanced countries, we see the various layers of security network, and everybody is working well, but our peculiarities and the matter of trust, can we really achieve what we want?
First, the successful government, why they're not doing anything about it? In fairness to the president in the administration in the past, the hand of the president is full. He can't be a master of any of the departments if he didn't give up power. Right now, Tinubu has over 30, 40 sensitive issues he must address. One person. And that's why we're saying that you can't kill this man. He has only 24 hours. No president can he can't bring the best out of him with this kind of structure we put in place. And that any president of Nigeria that is able to navigate Nigeria for 4 or 8 years, I will praise him. With this, because the structure is designed not to work.
Not to work.
He's able to pay salary. He's doing some things. In fact, I don't know how they survive it. And that Tinubu is also the loan for the base is expanding every day. How is he able to do that with all our debt? Then removal of subsidy. I was scared. Will this man survive it? I look at what is fluctuating now, going up, going down. That's a pattern until start coming down finally. Then we are talking about state police now. He's having the courage to say that no, we have to do this thing. We can't joke with the life of our people again. We must do it. So in the past, if the people are not as active, it will continue like that though. Even if they know, there's no government that is not aware of certain things. But the challenge of office, it will be in his mouth. True, I met this virtual or previous president, and I pitied them. How do these guys survive in office? They know half of what is in the public. They didn't know the remaining. I've seen when you see them at times, you say that, oh, are you sure? Is this Nigerian newspaper? I say, it's Nigerian newspaper, sir. Are you not aware? So, and it's because they are occupied with so many things. So the people must be assertive. You have to give a direction to your government. You must supervise your government. I imagine the president is aware of things that will make the nation move forward. But after 1 year, we are still battling with whether he should do it or not. You want to assume that he would. No, don't assume. We want things to get done. So, and that is the answer for that question. It's us that will bring out our timetable for a way out of where we are. We're talking about state police now. All states must have their refineries. There's nothing stopping them from the power sector. Government construct road. You're now saying government should be buying the cars for us. And that's a funny thing about the power sector too. Government should be giving you electricity. Go and fix your thing in your state. There are so many. Go and do it in your state. So it looks funny to when people see the national grid collapse. It will keep collapsing. It will keep collapsing until you do the needful. So that's the answer to that. It's we that will be assertive. No, that's not the direction, sir. This is where you're supposed to go. If you leave him to handle what he's handling, he may receive visitor from the for 8 years. I will not do anything with the way the country is structured. Right. So the second thing that you have asked, which is about the
layers of securities and the issue of a structure that will
our structures are built very weak. They are very weak. What do you mean by that? When particulars have an overbearing influence over institution, that's what it means. You have to build a barricade first. The idea of police, the president must do something about that. I specifically said that Tinubu must write his name in gold. Reduce the overbearing influence of Nigerian political class on our police. Don't let them influence their promotions again. Let them go to rank and fight to certain like AIG, DIG. Should not be a political appointment. IG, little influence by the president should come on him, so that anything they do, they won't be scared that when I want new promotion, I will need the help of the senator. If you do it that way, that's what they do in the rest of the world. It's not I've seen their conscience are better than our own. No. There's a law guiding them that they grow through rank and file. So that in 20, 30 years, you will know 5 people that will be IG, the next IG. You have an idea of who's going to be the IG already. And that's what makes it work. Then states, the same thing at states also. The little influence from the governor, just like little influence from the president. Then there will be a law. It's people who want to practice a concept. Some we've been talking about state police for 5. We've used all the days of our life. I studied public administration in school. There's nothing I took my time to study the political structure of Nigeria. I don't study arm of government. I didn't do that. I studied political structure of Nigeria. I have my A automatic in my MSc level. I was leading in the class. I'm pursuing my PhD. Yeah. I don't think anybody will beat me to that. There are other people also in the country who have been talking about this concept. Nigerians will just start it and start from the wrong direction. Yeah. Look at Obasanjo. He wants to do a conference. And he gathered his friends. They later became enemy. I said the African friend cannot go to anywhere. The same thing, Jonathan. State police is not just a matter that we did do. It's just a step towards the direction. I'm one of the co-founders of Amatekun. Yeah. So if you want to do a state police, there must be that power that binds the president to declare an emergency in the state that is going out of code, just like the president did in Rivers, just like Obasanjo did in Plateau and somewhere, just like Jonathan did. There must be a power with the federal police also to monitor, not to instruct or observe what they are doing. Any state police that is becoming an appendage of the Mr. Governor should be federalized. There should be that law. Okay. So Amatekun now has not been announcing opposition though. He's doing his work. That's right. Last man has never arrested someone because a PDP member. He's doing his work. So, my sister, don't listen to many Nigerians. So, we create problem for solutions to Nigeria. So they will just become, no, we have to move in this direction.
That's right. So if you look at the police, some professors, some analysts, they agreed that the structure of the police, talking about structure, is that was bequeathed to us by the colonialists. They were used, even looking at the symbol, elephants, shows that they just have to crush, they just have to destroy, but not necessarily tackling issues the way they should tackle them. So Tinubu is not the first to promise reform. Buhari Trust Fund actually flopped. And now the incumbent president is also facing legal tussle over Rivers State emergency rule and all of that. Do you think that he can muster that political muscle to break decades of inertia, or is it just blowing just hot air?
If you don't do something in an appropriate manner, when the definition begins to come out, nobody will ask you to do it. People don't understand what we say when we say state police. State police, what do we need it for? There's a federal police there. And we try to explain that, no, the state police in where they killed the Scouts leader, Yusuf, they wouldn't have killed him. What they need is a superior Quranic ideology. But federal police didn't know. They just come and kill the guy. And any ideology, the more state armor them, the more it strengthens them. The more we were locked up those days, the more it strengthens us. We have seen people get killed in detention where we are. Just to demoralize, I don't know whether they were criminal. In a box like they threw them and crushed them to a coach. Life. We didn't change our mind. They didn't change anything about us. We thought we would not survive. When I got blinded by my left eye, that the doctor pronounced that I can't see with my left eye again, you think it's going to so the more they do that to Boko Haram, the more it strengthens them. But there are state police, they will know that what Yusuf is saying, we have a solution. Call on that man of God. State police will advise the executive appropriately, the government. Say, no, don't touch them. We have a solution to it. But so there are peculiarities. That peculiarities is the deficiency we are seeing now. There's killing all over Nigeria now. Federal police is overstretched. So nobody tells us now to know that no, this state police is a must. So previous government that has been coming is because we have never had it this bad. Why are people listening to us the more now about state police? Why are people embracing it? It's a deficiency of the current structure. So either we like it or not, either we will keep coming back. There must be that opening for states, for Veronica to be able to defend herself before the police will come, which is the next layer. That how can I defend myself after state police? There must also be the individual defense.
Is it by carrying on? Like they don't think...
You have to define it. The country must decide on that. That there must be a semblance of for me to be able to defend until criminal sane mind like you, honorable mind like do that you know that you can never do something against the law like you. Must have something, a way to we can't run away from it. To say that accident happens every day, don't drive again. I know. To say that people use illegal guns is the reason why my life should not be safe. I should not be, even which is a toothpick. Come and teach me how to use toothpick to defend myself. You must do that. So it's important for us to know that the deficiency is what is going to push us towards doing the right thing, which is happening. Which is happening everywhere. Federal police are doing enormously well, but they have gone beyond their capacity. We need to let's compliment.
I still believe in numbers. You know, the police is just we don't have enough numbers in the police force.
About 370,000.
Won't you advise the federal government, if you had the opportunity to say, look, let's employ another 300,000, 500,000 young men and women.
For Nigerians.
Well, that is also correct. But there's no number you are going to employ. It's to enforce federal laws.
I know, I agree.
To make it more effective, it must be complemented by the state police. You can't ask the federal police to go and prosecute a pickpocket in Ojo like that. It's ridiculous. It's a state matter. In fact, there are local issues that someone's pot or so was stolen. With the money we are training our federal police, you are calling to come and arrest someone who stole a pot of. While there are kidnappers virtually everywhere in the country, with the gadget they have, they should try to be looking at how to copy, listening to everybody's phone line. Yes, that is legitimate.
Your argument makes me look at the security arrangement of the United States of America. It's multi-layered.
It's multi-layered.
Yes, everywhere.
You have this. You have.
There are transport police. There are forest police in the region. We used to have it that time. There were forest police in the region all over the country that time.
Unfortunately,
to complement to what
our time
the federal police are doing
is up. Rasaq Olokoba. Thank you so much for your time on the program. Analyst, convener, campaign for dignity in governance. Thank you so much again for